Welcome to Books in Minutes, where we bring you the world's most powerful books, summarized, simplified, and spoken straight to your mind. In today's episode, we're diving into the story of The Facebook Effect, written by David Kirkpatrick, the inside story of how one college student with a simple idea connected the entire world, changed communication forever, and built one of the most influential companies in history, Facebook, founded by Mark Zuckerberg. So sit back, relax, and immerse yourself in the story of a young coder, a vision for connection, and the digital revolution that reshaped humanity. In 2003, a 19-year-old computer science student at Harvard University sat in his dorm room, typing furiously on his laptop. His name was Mark Zuckerberg, and he was restless, not just with code, but with the world around him. At the time, Harvard was a closed environment, filled with tradition, competition, and exclusivity. Social life revolved around clubs and status. But Mark saw something different, a digital way to connect people beyond social hierarchies. His first experiment was something called FaceMash, a crude website comparing students' photos. It was controversial, even scandalous, but it revealed one thing: people craved connection and validation online. After FaceMash was shut down by Harvard administration, Mark didn't stop. He realized that online identity, your name, your face, your friends, could become the foundation of a new digital world. He started coding what would become the Facebook, a simple online directory where Harvard students could create profiles, list their friends, and see who others knew. Within days of its launch in February 2004, almost every student on campus had signed up. Harvard's social network had gone digital, and it was spreading fast. Mark's vision wasn't about money, it was about building something useful. In interviews later, he would repeat this belief: we don't build services to make money, we make money to build better services. This mindset attracted the right people. Dustin Moskovitz, Chris Hughes, and Eduardo Saverin joined as co-founders, each contributing something essential: business sense, communication, and relentless energy. When Sean Parker, the creator of Napster, discovered the Facebook, he saw its potential instantly. Parker guided Mark to move to Silicon Valley, the heart of technology. With Parker's connections, Zuckerberg met Peter Thiel, who became the company's first major investor, writing a $500,000 check. That investment changed everything. By mid-2005, Facebook wasn't just a Harvard project. It was spreading to Yale, Stanford, and Columbia, then to universities across America. Every new campus created a chain reaction, a network effect. The more people joined, the more valuable it became. It wasn't about features, it was about connection. Zuckerberg had tapped into something profound. People didn't just want information, they wanted to see themselves in a digital mirror. This was the Facebook effect, a psychological loop of sharing, connecting, and belonging. Unlike MySpace, where users could hide behind fake names and chaotic profiles, Facebook demanded real identity. Real names, real faces, real connections. That was revolutionary. It made Facebook a trusted digital space, clean, authentic, and organized. David Kirkpatrick writes that Zuckerberg wasn't just creating a website, he was building a social operating system, one that redefined how humans interact. Facebook's mission became clear: to make the world more open and connected. But openness came with consequences. As the company grew, questions arose about privacy, control, and power. Zuckerberg's belief was radical. If people share more, the world becomes a better place. But was it always true? The seeds of future controversies were already being planted, even as the company skyrocketed. Would you like me to continue now with Part 2, 30 to 60 minutes section on the growth, global domination, and power of the platform? It will keep the same audiobook tone and pacing, continuing smoothly from here. In 2006, Facebook was no longer just a Harvard experiment. It was a movement. Students across America were joining by the millions. Zuckerberg and his small team now worked from a rented house in Palo Alto, California, sleeping on couches, coding late into the night, and eating takeout meals among stacks of laptops. Their motto was simple: move fast and break things. To them, perfection wasn't the goal. Progress was. In September 2006, a decision changed everything. Facebook opened to everyone, not just students. Overnight, anyone with an email address could join. What had once been an exclusive club became a global phenomenon. With that decision came explosive growth. Millions of signups per week, servers struggling to keep up, and headlines declaring Facebook the next big thing. But this expansion also brought new pressure. The company needed to evolve beyond a social directory. It had to become a platform. In 2007, Facebook launched its developer platform, allowing outside programmers to create apps that lived inside Facebook. Suddenly, games like Farmville and quizzes about which movie character are you went viral. Every click, every share pulled more people into the ecosystem. This was strategic genius. Zuckerberg wasn't just growing a website, he was building an entire digital economy with Facebook at the center. Advertisers, brands, and media companies soon followed, drawn by the treasure trove of user data and engagement. While Zuckerberg cared about building community, investors cared about one thing: profit. Facebook's first real revenue came through ads, but Mark insisted they should feel personal, not intrusive. Thus began the era of targeted advertising. Ads based on who you were, what you liked, and who you knew. This personalization transformed Facebook into one of the most powerful marketing engines ever created. By 2008, it was valued at more than $15 billion. David Kirkpatrick describes this moment as a shift from college project to global infrastructure for human connection. Around that same time, a titan loomed over Facebook's path: Google. Google wanted to dominate social networking too, but Zuckerberg refused to sell, despite billion-dollar offers from Yahoo and Microsoft. His confidence was extraordinary for someone barely 23 years old. He believed Facebook's mission was bigger than money. When asked why he didn't sell, he said, "We're building something that will outlast us." Those words signaled not arrogance, but clarity of purpose. By 2009, Facebook passed 200 million users. Every nation, every language, every culture connected through a blue and white interface. It wasn't just a social site anymore. It was a mirror of humanity. Reunions, revolutions, relationships, Facebook was reshaping them all. In Egypt, activists used Facebook to organize protests. In small towns, families used it to stay close. For the first time in history, the entire world could talk to itself. But connection came with consequence. The more Facebook knew, the more power it held. Kirkpatrick writes that Facebook's greatest strength, its knowledge of people, is also its greatest responsibility. Inside the company, Zuckerberg cultivated a culture that reflected his personality: logical, minimalist, data-driven. He famously hung posters that said, "Done is better than perfect." Employees were encouraged to test, break, and rebuild features quickly. Hackathons became rituals, overnight coding marathons fueled by caffeine and creativity. This restless culture kept Facebook ahead of competitors who moved slower, more cautiously. It wasn't just a tech company anymore. It was an ideology about progress and openness. In 2008, Mark made one of his smartest decisions. He hired Sheryl Sandberg from Google as COO. Sandberg brought discipline, structure, and experience. She turned Facebook into a scalable business while Mark continued focusing on vision and product. Together, they formed a balance, the ideal mix of dreamer and manager. Sandberg professionalized operations. Zuckerberg protected the mission. As Facebook grew, it began facing questions about privacy, ethics, and influence. Could a company built to connect people also control them? That's where we'll go next. By 2010, Facebook had become the social nervous system of the planet. 500 million people used it to share photos, opinions, and moments every single day. What began as a tool for connection was now a mirror of humanity itself, and that mirror reflected both beauty and chaos. David Kirkpatrick's The Facebook Effect